Are you sick or tired of gaining arena high points slowly in Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 4? If so, continue watching this video because I'm going to be teaching you how to gain arena high points fast, so that you can reach Contenders League to compete for rewards, and even to reach Champions League to compete for cash prize tournaments. And we're starting right now. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be talking about is the arena point system for arena solos, duos, and trios. Now, the higher divisions you get to, the more the bus fare will cost. So in the open leagues, which includes Division 1, 2, 3, and 4, the bus fare will be 0, which means if you play a game in the open leagues, you won't lose any high points. However, once you get to the Contenders League and above, you would have to pay a bus fare to play in an arena match. So in Division 5, the bus fare will be minus 30. In Division 6, the bus fare will be minus 40. In Division 7, the bus fare will be minus 50. And once you get to the Champions League, which is Division 8 and onwards, in Division 8, you'll have to pay a bus fare of minus 60. And in Division 9 and 10, you would have to pay a bus fare of minus 70. So Division 1 to 4 has no bus fare, but Division 5 and above has bus fares, which will make it harder for you to progress through the divisions. So do keep that in mind. And the bus fare will be all the same for arena solos, duos, and trios. Now with elimination points, for being in the open league, so Division 1 to 4, you'd get 15 high points for each elimination. Then once you get to the Contenders League, which includes Division 5 to 7, each elimination will drop down to 10 high points. And finally, once you get to the Champions League, each elimination will drop down to only 5 high points, which is a very small amount, especially considering the fact that it's already the hardest to get eliminations in the Champions League. And because of the drop of high points for each elimination, it makes each elimination less worthy. And in the Contenders League, 10 high points, although not being as low as the Champions League of 5 high points, it is still 5 high points less than each elimination in the open league. And because of this, as you progress through the divisions, it gets more harder to gain high points, especially including the fact that there's a bus fare from the Contenders League and above, which not only you have to get enough high points to counter the bus fare for each game, you would also need to gain more high points than the bus fare to be able to make progress. So if you gain less high points than how much you're losing for the bus fare, you'll be losing high points instead of gaining any. But don't worry, in this video I'm going to be teaching you ways to play around this, so keep watching. Now as you can see, there are a lot of high points to be earned from outlasting opponents, so knowing that, you can also be patient in games and then just camp until you get to the end parts of the game, where you could try and finish the last people off and get to victory royale. So the strategy I like to use is be patient and outlast a lot of people until I gain enough high points to counter the bus fare, because in this case I'm not taking the risk of losing any high points by playing an arena game. And once you've gained enough high points to counter the bus fare by outlasting a lot of opponents, then in that case you can continue to be patient, or you could just start trying to eliminate people. It's all up to you. And I'll be talking about recommended playstyles for each division a little later in the video. But anyways, the last thing I want to talk about the arena scoring system is once you get to the Champions League, one of the ways to gain extra high points by outlasting opponents will not be there. For solos, the reach top 51 won't be there. For duos, the reach top 25 won't be there. And for trios, the reach top 15 won't be there. So we lose the opportunity to gain 10 more high points for outlasting opponents, which makes gaining high points insanely hard in the Champions League than the other divisions, especially the fact that you also have a bus fare of minus 60 in Division 8 and a bus fare of minus 70 in Division 9 and 10. And the amount of high points you gain for each elimination is also the lowest in the Champions League, with only 5 points for each elimination. But with that said, let's move on to playstyle recommendations for each division. Okay, so coming to the playstyle recommendations, in Division 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is the open league divisions, I'd recommend you play an aggressive playstyle, since there is no bus fare in the open league and the points for each elimination is at its maximum of 15 high points, and you won't encounter as many cracked players as you would in the upper divisions. Now for divisions 5, 6, and 7, I'd recommend more of a passive playstyle, as now you are at risk of losing high points, and for each elimination you get, you would only gain 10 high points, which is 5 less than the open league. However, in the Contenders League, you could still play aggressive, or a mix of aggressiveness and passiveness, as by doing so, you will allow yourself to get the maximum amount of high points. But I'd only recommend this if you're a good player. And if you're not that good, but you still want to play like this, whenever you see a good opportunity to get a kill that you can also most likely win the gunfight, such as in situations where you could third party people to get easy eliminations. And lastly, in Division 8, 9, and 10, you would most likely want to play a passive playstyle, as risking getting eliminations, which will only give you 5 high points each, wouldn't be a smart strategy, as if you end up dying before you can count the bus fare, which is minus 60 in Division 8 and a whopping minus 70 high points in Division 9 and 10. So by playing it safe, you will have a higher chance of countering the bus fare and gaining more high points. Of course, if you see an opportunity to get an easy kill, it will be smart to take it. But of course, don't go overboard with this. Only try and get eliminations when you know you could take them, or when you have an advantage over them. Now for each playstyle, there's preferred places to land. So for aggressive playstyles where you just want to get a bunch of kills quickly, you would want to land somewhere like Tilted Towers, as a bunch of people will land there straight from the start of the game. So it will allow you to get a bunch of kills straight at the start of the game, which will also allow you to gain a bunch bunch of high points. Now if you're planning to play a mix of an aggressive and passive playstyle, I'd recommend landing at places such as Sleepy Sound, Logjam Junction, and Greasy Grove, because not too many people land in these places. However, there are still a couple of people that land in these locations. And lastly, if you're playing a passive playstyle, I'd recommend landing in an unnamed location. So if I was you, I'd try and find a good unnamed location and constantly just land there every match. Of course, when you're playing a passive playstyle, and this is because you'll get used to the area and you'll know where all the good loot will be, such as where the chests are. So I'd recommend you pick one location for each type of playstyle that you would always want to land in. So pick one for an aggressive playstyle, pick one location for a mix of an aggressive and passive playstyle, and lastly, pick one unnamed location for a passive playstyle. And I gave you some examples of locations you could choose, but feel free to choose your own location. Now I'm going to be talking about one last thing before we talk about a few tips for arena, which also, if you'd like me to make a video on the best tips for arena, feel free to let me know down in the comment section. Okay, so let's talk about the best arena game mode for gaining arena points the fastest. Now overall, there isn't a big difference on how fast you gain arena high points if you play a certain arena game mode. However, if I would have to say which one's the best and fastest for gaining arena high points, I would have to say it's arena trios, and for many different reasons, which I'm going to explain right now. So the first reason being, games are generally more quicker in arena trios, and this is because there are generally more people getting into gunfights all at once, since there's 3 people in each team, and because of this reason, you'll be able to outlast more opponents more quickly. The second reason being that in some occasions it's quicker and easier to get eliminations, and this is because if a person's by themselves without their team near them, your team could just rush that one person and eliminate them super quickly. Obviously it doesn't always happen, but there are quite a few occasions that it does. The next reason being that it's easier to survive for longer, because even if 2 people on your team are eliminated, you or your teammates can still outlast and eliminate people, which will allow you to all gain extra high points. And the final reason being that you would theoretically get eliminations 3 times faster and outlast more opponents more quickly, since you're a team of 3. But overall, there shouldn't be a big difference, so feel free to play the one you wish. Okay, so a tip for getting more eliminations and also getting eliminated less yourself is taking advantage of third partying. So if you see some people in a gunfight and you see that any of them are low on health, in that situation you should try and quickly finish them off, and by doing so you'll gain easy high points. Since if you didn't know already, third partying is one of the easiest ways to get eliminations in Fortnite. So when you get the opportunity to do so, I'll definitely recommend you take it. However, if you're in a gunfight with someone and you're getting third partied by someone else, in that situation you should try and escape to safety, and if you're low on health you should try to heal up. So in situations where someone's third party in your gunfight, you should avoid those from trying to happen to you. And in situations where you can third party and you have the advantage over them, you should definitely take advantage of those yourself. Okay, the final tip I'm going to be telling you is to warm up in creative and or in public games before you hop onto arena games, and make sure you consistently train your aim. You could do this by using aim trainer maps, and I'll put some good recommendations for the best aim training maps out there, and I'll put the maps and the codes in the description of this video. Also, if you'd like to see the best practice creative maps in Fortnite Chapter 3, I'll put a video on the top right of the screen right now, and in that video it will show you the 5 best practice creative maps in Fortnite Chapter 3. So if you're interested, be sure to watch that video. Okay, so by warming up before you get into arena games, it will allow you to play at your best, which will allow you to gain arena high points much more faster. So I'll definitely recommend you do so. Also, make sure you train your aim often, since good aim could take you very far in this game, because if you hit majority of your shots, you're more likely to get more eliminations and also win more gunfights. So I'd highly recommend you train your aim as well, since it will make a big difference to your gameplay performance. If you found this video useful, consider subscribing to the channel and turn on the notification bell to never miss out on any new amazing videos I upload. And if you're sick and tired of constantly lagging in Fortnite Chapter 3, click onto the video on the screen right now, and they will teach you tons of tips to help you reduce lag and input delay in Fortnite Chapter 3. And if you haven't dropped a like on the video yet, feel free to do so now. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.